So the Glock 26 may be past its prime and may not even make any sense to buy anymore as a carry gun in 2022, but it still retains a lot of amazing features that some guns either have pulled directly from or cannot even compete with even in 2022. So today we're going to take a look at this gun and I'm going to tell you why this gun still impresses me today. The Glock 26 really is an incredible gun, and I think these things came out in like 1995. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but it was around the mid-90s when this gun came out. And if you think about it, you had guns like the Ruger P90, you had the Sigma series from Smith & Wesson, you had like the SIG 229, and then they had like a little 220. There were some other ones, obviously Colt had some, and there was revolvers that were still out there. The Beretta M9 was of course out there. But when it came to carry guns, Glock really changed the game with this one right here.
One of the most respected names in knives is now a sponsor of the channel, and they are supporting y'all in a huge way. So I've been carrying the Launch 7 and the Launch 13 over the past couple weeks, and I could honestly do a dedicated video on each, but to give you the rundown, these are USA made knives. They use quality materials like 6061 T6 aluminum, CPM 154 steel blades, Cerakoted, all of that good stuff. Point is, these things are super high quality and very lightweight. So both of them have reversible clips, and what I really like is that these are automatic folders. So when it's actually folded up in your pocket, it's got a low profile button, so you don't inadvertently just open it up when you don't want. But as soon as you hit that button, these things swing open and lock solidly in place. It's really an incredible knife, man. And what they're doing for the community here is even better. They're offering everybody 20% off of any knife on their website when you use the code HEXSHOT87. And if you spend over $100, you actually get free shipping on top of that. This is a pretty sweet deal from an amazing company. Big thanks to those guys for the support that they're doing here on the channel.
And if we look at the specs on it here really quick, you have a barrel that's 3.4 inches, 21.5 ounces, 1 inch thick, 6.2 inches in overall length, and 4.1 inches high. That sounds really close to some of the carry guns of today, like the Shield Plus. Now this one's in 30 Super Carry, but if we look at them, slide to slide, Glock's a little bit longer. Is that good? Glock is a little bit chunkier, of course. The Shield and some other guns started this whole slimline 9mm, but at the same time, you know, the Glock is still right in line there. The Shield in 30 Super Carry is 13 rounds. If this was the 9mm, it would be 10 rounds. The Shield in 30 Super Carry and the Shield in 9 are the same size gun, okay? So just keep that in mind. So let's pretend this is the 9 and this is the 9. 10 rounds, right? All right, the Glock is actually considerably shorter, making it easier to conceal in your waistband. A little bit harder to grip onto, of course. It is essentially a 2-finger grip gun. But as far as carry, man, the length of the grip and the capacity that you get, it's actually pretty good. Now, when we look at the G26 versus the 43X here, again, you're gonna see something similar to the 30 Super Carry. If we go beaver tail to beaver tail, they are essentially the same length. If you look at the width, right, the Glock is thinner, of course. And then if we look at the height on these, check that difference out. Again, both 10-round guns. The Glock 43X doesn't impress me because of that little spec right there. Way too long. Now, it's a comfortable gun. You can get a full-size grip on it, but we're talking about micro 9s, and this gun just... Again, you can check out the video, but the Glock 26 is considerably shorter. You can look at that both ways, but when we're talking about carry guns, it's going to be much easier to carry this than the 43X. Now, when we talk about the 26 versus the 43, the 42, the 43X, the 43X MOS, this gun has some significant advantages. First of all, I did put a set of Trijicons on this gun. This was years and years and years ago, right? But one thing it does have is a better trigger than the one on the 43X. This one's broken in a little bit too, but most Glocks have that same type of feel. It's not perfect. It's got an audible reset to it, but it just has a nice clear, snap, very predictable gun to shoot. If we take a look at the Glock 19, Gen 5, same deal, right? The 42, all the single stack Glocks, they're not heavier on paper. They feel heavier. They're just different compared to every other Glock that I've ever shot. Regardless though, one other advantage you have in the 26 is the mag compatibility. And of course you have this with the 27, which is the 40 caliber version. I feel like Glock back then, I mean, this is truly innovation in a time where most guns are, you know, a combination of steel and, you know, just kind of heavy and cumbersome to carry truthfully inside the waistband or whatever the case may be. Glock was really putting together and thinking ahead, like 10 rounds in a gun like this, polymer frame, light in that world, especially in those days, I should say, really, really incredible. And this is what I like about Glock, this period from Glock, because again, from the 80s to the 90s, they were pretty much ahead of the whole competition and everybody else kind of had to catch up to them. Now, my opinion now is there are several companies surpassing Glock in innovation and trying new things. I mean, hell, you know, Smith & Wesson came out with a caliber dedicated to concealed carry. Federal actually made the round, but you know what I'm saying. That is impressive. Trying to push the bar. The P365, of course, the Shield Plus, the Hellcat Pro, the Spectra Comp. There's so many good guns. Hell, even the CR920, the Shadow Systems. There are so many good companies making good carry guns now, but I have to give credit where it's due. The Glock 26, for what it is, and the time period it came out in, even all of these years later, still impresses me. So I'd love to hear like what your opinion is. Which company out there is really impressing you today? You know, who do you think's pushing the bar? Or what innovation from Glock impressed you the most? Whatever you want to leave me down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.